Ranger is a popular franchise that debuted in 1933 as a radio show, then went on to the silver screen and finally the small screen. In every incarnation, the Lone Ranger was a huge hit and helped define the Western genre. But as time wore on and a man wearing a domino mask and a cowboy hat was replaced by a man wearing a domino mask and a cape, the Lone Ranger seemingly rode off into the sunset. Yeah, right. Hollywood refuses to let any proven commodity rest in peace, and the Lone Ranger languished in development hell for decades. Then, as the Pirates of the Caribbean became a worldwide sensation, Disney producer Jerry Bruckheimer and Johnny Depp began to look for another potential franchise to turn into box office gold. The Lone Ranger came to their attention. But could they make it work for today's audiences? Hey, if they can turn an aging theme park ride into one of the most successful movie properties of all time, why not the Lone Ranger? Plus, Depp, who is part Native American, sparked to playing the role of Tonto and the chance to elevate it beyond mere sidekick status. So, Disney and Bruckheimer, not wanting to take any chances, quickly reassembled their Pirates' dream team around Depp and the property. Gore Verbinski would direct, while Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio would write the script, even adding supernatural elements a la Pirates' Ghost Ship. But then, right before shooting was to begin, the project found itself trapped in a financial ravine. Will our heroes survive? Our story continues after the break. When we last saw our heroes, they were trapped in a financial ravine. On one side, the costly Cowboys and Aliens was eating box office dirt, while on the other side, the lucrative DVD market was completely dried up. Weighed down by a hefty $260 million budget, the Lone Ranger was unable to escape and was shot dead by Disney. The story broke like wildfire across the internet. How could a studio nick such a big ticket with such hot talent? And while one could say it was simply a sign of how the industry was changing, one could also say it was embarrassing for everyone involved. So after much backroom pleading, Disney gave Bruckheimer and his team a very short window of time to come back to them with a budget of no more than $215 million. They managed to do it, and here's how. First, they reworked the lavish and pampered shooting schedule to be more cost-effective and reasonable. Then they used Louisiana's tax incentives to persuade New Mexico to match them. Or maybe they'll just shoot in Louisiana. It's still up in the air right now. They also decided not to shoot in California at all. Then the top talent agreed to defer their salaries until Disney made back a certain amount of money at the box office. And Bruckheimer even gave back some of his development budget from his overall deal with Disney. Then, after all the greed was wiped away, they still had to lose the supernatural coyotes from the movie, an animated sequence, and cut down the big train scenes. But again, they got it down to the $215, so Disney gave it the green light once more. Although because of the delay, the release date has been moved from December 2012 to May 2013. Cameras are expected to roll in early 2012, with Johnny Depp as Tonto joined by Armie Hammer as the Lone Ranger. Ruth Wilson from BBC's Luther will play the female lead, a la fellow British thesp Keira Knightley in Pirates, while Dwight Yoakam, Barry Pepper, and Tom Wilkinson are also in talks to join the cast, as is Helena Bonham Carter. Depp, I know she's a family friend and all, but come on! Regardless, the shadow of Pirates guarantees that The Lone Ranger will be one of 2013's most anticipated movies. What are your initial thoughts on this new Lone Ranger? And do you think Disney was right to pull back on the reins re the budget? Be sure to write your thoughts down below. And I also hope you'll vote for your top 10 movies of 2011 and Beyond the Trailers poll. Just go to tinyurl.com/2011top10 and fill out the form by January 3rd, 2012. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.